mashallah. Wallahi, I'm happy. I mean, alhamdulillah, I'm happy he was born every day of my life. Wallahi, I'm really happy. I don't need the 12th of Rabi' al-Awwal to be happy about it, but when the 12th is there, it's really nice too. So it's all good. No, he's going to make shafa'ah for disbelievers. Yeah, that's the sound. That's the maqam. That's his maqam. Maqam al-Mahmud is when he, for all of humanity, he makes shafa'ah for them, for relief on the Faza' al-Akbar. Well, we don't. I mean, there's definitely going to be people in hell, but there's a hadith. One of the most extraordinary hadiths about that is that he asks God to permit him to bring out anybody that said La ilaha illallah. That's all. And he permits him to do that. And then, once everybody makes shafa'ah, Allah says, now there's nobody but me. And he takes anybody who had an atom's weight of faith in his heart out of the hellfire. So Allah, I'm looking forward to that day. I swear to God. I can honestly say I am looking forward to that day. I mean, I want to have a life. I'd like to see my children grow up and be there to help them. But I'm looking forward to Yawm al-Qiyamah. I really am. I think it's going to be an amazing day. For me, it's the director's. You get the director's commentary. It's It's gonna what did all this mean? It's gonna be amazing. You get to see the whole thing. We're gonna see it all, and Allah said He's gonna explain it to us, like what it all meant, and we're all just gonna marvel, and it's gonna be amazing. And I'm looking forward. Allah says in the Quran, لِمَنْ كَانَ يَرْجُو اللَّهَ وَالْيَوْمَ الْآخِرِ. Those who are looking forward to the Day of Judgment, and I want to be amongst those, and that's how I feel. I'm looking forward to it. I want to see the tyrants squirm. Really, I want to see the whole. It's just going to be amazing. And I'm not denying it's a scary, awesome event. It's going to be, I believe that, and I hope we're in the shade. I love people for the sake of Allah. Wallah, I love you for the sake of Allah. The Prophet said that the people that love each other for the sake of Allah, they don't have a problem on that day. And I'm counting on love. I'm not counting on my actions. I'm not counting on my prayers, my fasting. I'm not counting on any of that. I am counting on mahabba. Because I love my teachers. I love Sheikh Abdullah bin Bayy. I love the Prophet ﷺ. Mahabba that's what I'm counting on. That's my deen. Wallahi. I'm counting on mahabba. And Allah says, أَيْنَ الْمُتَحَبُّونَ فِيَّ. Where are those who loved each other for the sake of Allah? For my sake, where are they? I want to be amongst those people. Those are the people. I want to be with them. أُظِلُّهُمَ الْيَوْمَ لَا ظِلَّ إِلَّا ظِلِّي. I'm going to give them shade on this day when there's no shade but my shade. And mahabba, it's mashallah, it's such a gift just to love, to have love for people. It's a gift. No, we can't identify anybody going to hell. Nobody. Because we don't know. I don't know what their state is with God. Only God can judge people. You don't know what their conditions. What do you do if you're born into a family where, your father's raping you? Because there's people that happens to. I don't know what, I don't know what that means. I don't know how their attitude towards life's going to be. I don't know. What... There's so many weird things on the planet. It's only God can sort this thing out. I don't want to judge anybody. And it's not our place to judge people. We judge by the outward. That's what we were told to do. I was told to judge by the outward. So we judge by the outward. If I see something wrong, it's wrong. You're a wrongdoer. But the inward reality of people, I don't know. The man who was a mass murderer, and he wanted Tawbah, and the monk said, there's no way God's going to forgive you, so he chopped his head off, made it 100. And then he's still feeling bad, and he went to another person, and he said, oh, you go to the land of the Muslims, and you can get tawbah. So he set out, and he died on the way. He didn't even get there yet. And the two angels, the adab and the rahmah, came and argued, no, he's mine. He's going to hell. Killed 100 people. And the other one said, no, he was trying to make tawbah. And the hadith, which is in Imam al-Nawawi, relates in the Riyadh al-Salihin. It's a sound hadith. And they measure, and he was closer to the people, to the Muslims, so he gets to go with them. I mean, that's somebody killed, that's a mass murderer. So I don't know. I mean, most people out there that I see, they're pretty decent people. They're nice people, and God certainly doesn't have to burn people, I mean, I know a lot of nice people that aren't Muslim, and I find it very hard to believe that they're just going to roast in hell. I just find that hard to believe. But if Allah wants to do that, amantu billah, He can do whatever He wants. But I'm not going to assume that about God. I don't assume that about God. I just don't. It's not my assumption. I just think it's deeper than what it appears to people who are reading these texts without really thinking deeply about them. Wallahu alam. I could be wrong. Mm-hmm. What's that? We should pray for non-Muslims. I mean, there's a thing in here. He mentions the Shia, and he said, may God, ugly their faces or something. I just changed it to, may Allah guide them, I mean, I'd rather make dua for somebody than against them. But that's my nature. I've never made dua against anybody. Alhamdulillah. I don't make dua against people. Even people I don't like, that I'd like to make dua against them. There's a hadith that says if you make dua against somebody, it first takes permission from God. And if you're more worthy of that dua, it goes back to you. So take your chances. What's that? Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're not supposed to pray for somebody who died in a state of kufr. Yeah, if you know they died in a state of kufr, yeah, you shouldn't pray for them. But for instance, in the Quran, for people whose parents are non-Muslim and they were good people or something like that you can recite the du'as of the Quran. وَارْحَمْهُمَا كَمَا رَبَّيَانِ صَغِيرًا. I mean, that's a du'a. In the Quran, nobody can tell you can't recite that. So, if you want to recite that dua, it's perfectly acceptable to recite that. Mm-hmm. Everything's going to be made clear. Your whole life. And we believe, like the Jews, we believe in the ard. The ard is where you actually have to watch the film of your life. Sa'atan sa'atan. Imam al-Awza'i said, تُعْرَضُ عَلَى كُلِّ أَحَدٍ حَيَاتُهُ سَعَةً سَعَةً. Each frame by frame. Yes. Yeah. So, the Jews, we share that. The Christians don't know about the ard. But the Jews and the Muslims know about the ard. Now, we have, like Sony Pro Cut. Our editing suite is Tawbah. Astaghfirullah. You cut out those frames and hope that it's accepted. Inshallah. Mm-hmm. Well, mm-hmm. Well, like I said, to say somebody's a disbeliever in reality is up to God. The ruling of kufr is, there's outward situations where the ruling is that it's kufr. So the Prophet ﷺ said, Al-mu'minu la yarith al-kafir. The mu'min doesn't inherit from the non-Muslim, the kafir, and use that word kafir. So if somebody died in kufr, the outward hukm is that they're kafir. But are they kafir mukhallad fin nar? we can't say that about anybody. We cannot judge people that they're going to hell or not. We can't say Hitler's in hell. We can't do that. It's not our authority to do that. I think there's a high probability. I don't know though. And that's justice and mercy are problems. These are paradoxical, divine justice and divine retribution. We believe in divine justice, but we also believe in divine mercy. And according to, if you want to use the Isa, if it's a sound narration from him, but in the New Testament, he says, "Judge not, lest ye be judged. For by the standard by which you judge, so too shall ye be judged." The idea is that if you're always demanding justice of everybody, that's the criterion that God's going to use for you on the Yom Al-Qiyamah. If you're always forgiving people, irhamu man fis sama, yarhamukum man fil ard. That's the first hadith that we take in our hadith studies. Have mercy on those on the earth, and the one in the heaven will have mercy on you. So if your standard is justice, if you want justice, then that's probably the standard that God's going to use with you. I don't want justice, I want rahmah. It's as simple as that. So, but it doesn't mean that people aren't entitled to justice. People are entitled to justice. It's just beware of what you ask for, because God is just. And sometimes the things that happen to people that they think are unjust are actually acts of justice. They just don't see it. So there's no doubt, the Quran is filled with verses about justice, about establishing justice. One of the divine names is Adl, and Allah will manifest that name on the Yawm al-Qiyamah. He is going to be just to a certain group of people that deserve justice. Other people will deserve mercy, and Allah decides who those people are, and that's bimahdi fadrihi. They don't even deserve mercy. It's actually just from His bounty that they're shown mercy. Allah says in the Quran, لَوْ يُؤَخِذَ النَّاسِ بِظُلْمِهِمْ مَا تَرَكَ عَلَيْهَا مِنْ دَابَّةٍ. Had God taken people to account for their wrongs, you wouldn't see a living thing left on the earth. And that's what Allah says. So, but He also says, رَحْمَتِي وَاسِعَتْ كُلَّ شَيْءٍ. My mercy encompasses everything. And He's going to give it specifically to the people of taqwa. سَأَكْتُبُهَا لِلَّذِينَ يَتَّقُونَ. Alhamdulillah. So Yawm al-Qiyamah is going to be an amazing day. It's going to be a clarifying day. It's going to be a day where Allah will inform people about the things they were differing about. He's going to make it all clear of why things were the way they were. And that's our belief. Without Yawm al-Qiyamah, this place is a complete madhouse. It's as simple as that. If you don't believe in Yawm al-Qiyamah, none of this makes sense. Because there's so much injustice on this planet. There's so many wrongs. There's so many... It can only make sense with a just day where people will have their due. Even a dog, all the animals are raised up. Even they get their day. So even the animals will get their day. Animals that were beaten, that were mistreated, they're all going to have their day. Even the earth. The Prophet ﷺ said the earth is raised up, and every kullu shibrin dhulima, every handspan of earth that was oppressed, God is going to give it retribution on that day. That's why dhulm is such a scary thing. So these are about tajalliyat. You can read the Quran. I'm in a rahmah mood today. Tomorrow, this dars could have been completely different. My kids all came from America, I'm feeling, So, but really, it's about tajalliyat, and Allah is adl, so I could give a talk on His justice, and it's all real, and it's going to happen. And I hope some people get justice. I really do. There's some people I feel they really deserve it. They would have to. It's the cruelest people. There's people that are so cruel that torture other people, do horrible things. If you're going to kill somebody, kill them. But to torture them and to enjoy it. No. Those people, I want to see them, I want to see them get retribution. I don't want to, they need retribution. They would have to have retribution. So, but for many, many people out there, there's just a lot of good people, and every act of kindness will not go unnoticed or unrewarded. Aisha once gave a beggar a grape, one grape, and one of the women that was with her, she said, "Do you see any ajr in that?" She said, "Kam min dharra fi hadha al-inab." How many atoms are in that grape? Just one grape. Kam min dharra, the indivisible, the atom. Kam min dharra. So every atom's weight of good will be seen on the Yawm al-Qiyamah, and every atom's weight of evil. So it's going to be it's all going to be done. But Allah's rahmah is great. It's vast. And that's what I hope all of us want. I mean, I don't know anybody who asks for justice for themselves. They ask it for other people, but nobody I know in their right mind say, "Oh God, be just with me." I don't know anybody that said, but they say, "Be just with Abu so-and-so." I mean, they want it for other people. They don't want it for themselves. That's where I feel like I'd rather want justice for rahmah for people than justice for everybody. That's what I would rather have. Because that's what I want for myself. And the Prophet said, none of you truly believes until you want for others what you want for yourself. I want mercy for myself, so I want it for other people. But like I said, there are certain people on the planet, I think they're a very small minority, but they're shayateen al-ins. And they really need to be taken into account, and I believe Allah will do that. Is that clear? Okay. Mm-hmm.
Even before the day of judgment, won't we know our fate when we get to the grave?
Well, there's definitely, we believe in adab al-qabr. We believe the qabr is a first stopping place, and it's either, the Prophet said, it's either rawdatin min riyad al-jannah or hufratin min hufr al-nar. It's either a meadow from the meadows of paradise or a pit from the pits of the fire. But don't forget that there Ashab al-Jahim, there are a lot of Muslims that are from the Ashab al-Jahim, but they won't go to hell. So, the Prophet said that تفترق أمتي إلى 73 فرقة كلها في النار إلا واحدة. My ummah will split into 73 sects. All of them are in hell except for one. And then they said, "Which one is that, Ya Rasulullah?" He said, "Ma ana alayhi wa ashabi," what I follow and my companions. Well, that's a very small group of people, if you think about that. So the way that the ulama interpreted that meant كلها في النار لولا شفاعة. All of them are in the fire had it not been for intercession. In other words, it doesn't mean they're going to hell. Or they might spend some time in like a purification, So, and even Imam al-Ghazali said, "Walau lahza," like a flash, the pasteurization, like a flash. They just to be entered into the paradise, they just need the dross of their bestiality to be removed, so that they can go in a pure state. But for a lot of people, sickness, all those things, sakarat al-maut, those things are all purifying things. Cancer, those type of things just remove sins. I mean, we believe that. Things that you suffer in life, a lot of things you don't think about. You stub your toe, you get, those are all kafar. We believe those remove sins. Fevers remove sins. All those things. Wudu removes sin. So even though you're sinning all the time, you're also, if you're a believer, you're getting the removal of sins all the time. Now the problem is big sins, the mubiqat. What the Christians call the deadly sins, because they put the soul in a state of the sanctifying grace can actually be removed. So that idea is, we have that idea as well. The kaba'ir are very serious. If you don't make tawbah, you're in big trouble. And even if you make tawbah, you're in the mashi'ah, according to our ulama, which means Allah can accept them or not accept them. We're told not to despair. La tay'asu min ruhillah. Don't despair from the grace of God. We're told that, and we believe that. So when you make tawbah, you should believe it's accepted. And the Prophet ﷺ said, Ana inda dhanni abdi bi, in dhanna biya khayra, wajada khayra, wa in dhanna biya sharra, wajada sharra. I'm in the good opinion of my servant. If he thinks good of me, he finds good. If he thinks bad of me, he finds bad. The Prophet ﷺ said, Man wajada khayran faliyahmadillah. If you find good, thank God. وَمَنْ وَجَدَ غَيْرَ ذَلِكَ فَلَا يُلُمَنَّ إِلَّا نَفْسَهُ. And if you find other than good, blame yourself. Don't blame God. So that's, we should have a good opinion of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He's merciful. He's a merciful Lord. I mean, I didn't become Muslim to, I became Muslim for salvation. We didn't reveal this Quran that you're wretched or miserable. It's to make you happy. So, I mean, Muslims should be happy. Muslims don't smile enough. Just be happy. I mean, I'm so happy I'm a Muslim. Maybe it's just having been a non-Muslim before. I don't know. I love Islam. It makes me happy. I think Muslims should be happy.